Okay, and now to talk about the module of the week, let's bring in Martin Anderson Klutz, a senior solutions engineer at Acquia and maintainer of a number of Drupal modules of his own. Martin, what do you have for us this week?
Thanks, Nick. This week I thought we would talk about the CrowdSec module, which integrates your Drupal site with the open source CrowdSec Security Engine, a collaborative malicious activity detection and remediation tool. So it's actually quite a new module. It was created in December of 2022. Currently has a 1.0.1 version available, and obviously is in pretty active development at this stage with the one version that works with both Drupal 9.5 and Drupal 10. It has two open issues. Technically, one of them is postponed, a support request and a feature request. And it's currently in use by just 30 sites. And it was created by Jurgen Haas, who also created the ECA module that we previously covered here on Module of the Week. The module works by leveraging sort of a security network. So when you think about something like Cloudflare or Akamai, a significant part of the value that you get from them, using their WAF solutions is really sort of that network effect of being able to detect malicious actors and sort of in a distributed way protect anyone within that network, so that you don't have to wait until your site individually is attacked before that bad actor can be sort of isolated from everyone behind that. And so CrowdSec is really intended to be kind of an open source platform that works the same way, so that sites again can share that data, and then so in a distributed way identify those bad actors. Now the CrowdSec service does offer enterprise plans, but no account is required to start using the module. And there are really sort of two parts to the module. So one is really retrieving that list of known bad actors from the CrowdSec API and then blocking them from accessing the website. But it also does some signal collection for the network by detecting bad behavior. So it can be things like, triggering flood control, maybe crossing a threshold that's configurable around 404 errors. And it will also work with other security modules like Perimeter, which again we've previously talked about in the segment. The IP addresses of bad actors identified locally will then be sent upstream to the CrowdSec service and shared globally. And worth noting as well that the site builder can control which of those signals are going to be shared upstream, and also that that list of IP addresses is cached locally for performance reasons. So let's talk about the CrowdSec module.
I've not heard of it, but it's actually really cool. And right now, I am mesmerized by the animation on the crowdsec.net website. I recommend everybody go there, right click on that, and just look at the SVG. It is wild. But no, I think this is a great tool. I mean, like you said, one of the nice things about being on either the CDNs or even any of the big Drupal platforms is a lot of the platform level stuff gets taken care of a lot quicker, right? You don't have to worry as much about um, it as much about platform level attacks because Pantheon or Acquia or Platform SH, they're gonna harden their system against this stuff a lot sooner than a lot sooner than I would if I'm managing a server myself, right? It takes time to manage that, and when it's just part of the institution, it takes a little bit of that burden. So being able to, this is kind of the first thing I've heard of where even smaller sites can contribute back rather than just kind of consuming it. It sounds like that reporting feature is really kind of unique to it. So definitely gonna be checking this out and seeing if it's something that I can convince a lot of my clients to start using. Because yeah, if they can start contributing back to other people in an open source way, why not?
Yeah, some people listening to the podcast may remember years ago, I think Dries had started a service called Mollum that I think
Oh yeah.
had some overlap in terms of it being that idea of kind of an open source sharing of, who are the bad actors that should be blocked and so on. So not 100% clear on how this one is different from that. It sounds like where that one may have been more adopted by the Drupal community, this sounds to me like it's meant to be more sort of agnostic in terms of the kinds of sites it'll work on.
I still miss Malum. It was great.
So I'm curious, what's to stop someone from reporting legitimate IP addresses as bad actors?
It's an excellent question. And it's something, to be honest, I had also sort of wondered about. I mean, I feel like it's not the same sort of level of threat as something like DNS spamming, where it's going to take a site offline. It would potentially block people from an organization. Let's say if you could block, certain IP addresses by potentially sort of nefariously reporting them as bad actors. So maybe there's a potential for abuse. To be honest, it's a good question, and one that if somebody listening to the podcast has an answer for, we'd love to hear about.
They do have a page that talks about how to get yourself removed from their block list. So if you have been blocked, there is a way to get yourself removed. And that makes me wonder if like Akamai or Cloudflare has that same thing. I mean, I just happened to find it as you were talking about it, so it's not particularly hidden. It's pretty prominent. But I imagine that some of their value add and some of the cost is probably just that management. How do you make sure that you're not blocking people inappropriately? Again, thank you, Martin, for an on-topic module of the week. Another interesting one for the books. See you next week.